Catch this. That's hard, right? Now catch this. Much easier. So this one idea is going to change how you think about your fills. Keep simple, but not the way you think. Fundamentally, it's about how you can create your own drum fills instead of copying all these random fills that you find on social media. It's about doing it in a way that you're following a strategy, the creative strategy. And it's the one that I've used for years and now use with my students all the time. And it's working. And it might do the same for you. It's a top-down strategy that I'll explain in today's video. But before I do, I need you to understand that it takes practice and that it's not a quick fix. There are no quick fixes. So if you are looking for a quick fill, this video is not for you. Everything I'll share with you today is what I literally do with all of my students. And it helps them to play with ultimate freedom and improvise fills on the spot. When they're playing with their band, when they're on stage, when they're in a rehearsal space, and when they're just sitting down and wanting to play. So if you're interested in learning more about that, just click the link below and find out more. Let's dive in. So in today's lesson, we'll be playing in 16th notes, but this strategy can literally be applied on any other subdivision. And a creative strategy starts by understanding that you don't have to play your 16th notes as 4 blocks of 4, like this. And so on. And it's about you deciding however you want to divide your 16th notes. And while these examples are just 1-bar fills, I will show you how to create longer phrases in 2, 3, or 4-bar phrases in the next part of the video. But first, I need you to restrict yourself and be able to play different groupings within a 1-bar setting. But then the question usually is, oh, but you need so much vocabulary to do that. You're using all these crazy stickings. Well, you don't need it to begin with because you can play the entire thing with just single strokes. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, oh my God, here he starts again about single strokes, trust me, you haven't played it like this, and it's gonna open up your vision on keeping simple. Because the second step in the creative strategy is playing dynamic. And in this case, we're just using single strokes and playing accents to create different groupings, different melodies in our fills. So those were the exact same groupings, but then played with single strokes, and that's where you start. Now, before we dive into the topic of building vocabulary and using these different stickings, there's one more thing you have to know, and that's orchestration. Where do you start? Do you just start randomly throwing your hands around the drum kit? No. Start by only moving the accents in this case. So we're gonna go through the exact same patterns that we just played, but we're gonna move our right hand to our 4th tom. In this case, for me, the 2nd 4th tom, or your 1st, doesn't really matter. And then your other accent, your left hand accent, you're gonna move that to your high tom. It's gonna sound like this. Yes, single strokes, easy, orchestrating, easy. I know, but it's important steps that most drummers skip, and they just start throwing their hands around and they get stuck. So if you want to break free, follow these steps and then move into the cool stuff. However, I also think that previous stuff is pretty cool once you control it. It's really cool, actually. Anyway, you're here to dive into that effortless flow, into endless ideas. Well, Eddie, you need some stickings for that. Yes, we need some stickings for that. Still, keeping it easy. So I want to share a few stickings with you that I know and I see every other drummer use. And that is, first of all, right, left, kick. And for this specific video, I want to stick to the 3s and 5s because those work so well. But if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll give you a few more stickings that a lot of drummers are using. Everyone is actually using them. So make sure you stick around until the end. Here is the stickings for the 3s and 5s. Right, left, kick. So here's the thing with building vocabulary and effortless playing. A lot of drummers, what they actually want to do is being able to implement and integrate their bass drum into their fills, right? That's one of those things where a lot of drummers get stuck. Maybe it's you, maybe not. But here are the stickings for the 3s and 5s that I use all the time and my students use all the time, and it always works. Let's go. Those stickings work very well. But here's the thing. Once you play all these 1-bar combinations, 3-5-3-5, 3-3-5-5, 5-5-3-3, 5-3-5-3, whatever you come up with. By the way, I've got a free guide that shows you all these examples that we're playing with the 3s and the 5s and the kick. So get the free guide below by clicking the link, all right? So you can follow along. But then we're kind of stuck in these 1-bar fills, right? And what you actually want to have is that continuous flow of 16th notes that just keeps rolling, right? You just want to sit down and play. At least I do. And a lot of my students want that. And I'm thinking you want that as well. So what do? Well, you're not thinking about this 1-bar combination. You're thinking of a continuous flow of 16th notes that's just, keeps going. It keeps rolling. So what we're doing then is what I call freedom practice. It's a practice where you're having this pattern that you keep repeating, the right left kick, which is a super famous pattern, and everyone uses it, and it's super easy, and you just keep repeating that. But sometimes you're adding a few single strokes. You can add 2 single strokes, you can add some more single strokes, just playing single strokes, and then returning to the right left kick, which is what I call the home base. And from that home base, we're building that freedom. And we're constantly playing 16th notes. You can either do this by keeping your hi-hat on the quarter note pulse or, turn on a click track. But the idea is to have that continuous flow of 16th notes. And in your mind, in your body, you're feeling where the quarter note pulses, so you never kind of get lost. That's the hardest part, right? This takes a lot of practice, and counting out loud is really helpful for this. So let me show you a few examples. I cannot write this out because it's something that I am just playing. The idea is continuous 16th notes, right left kick, the group of 3 is our home base, is the pattern which we keep returning to. And then sometimes I'm playing single strokes. This is it. This is the magic. This is keeping things simple as possible, right? Every great drummer uses this, but nobody's really talking about this because a lot of people don't know how to put it into words. But this is what we're doing. We're just thinking in 16th notes, and what I'm playing doesn't really matter. It's feeling the quarter note pulse that is most important. Let me show you a few examples. Understand what I'm doing there. I have some more in-depth lessons about that on my channel, but this is really the system that gives you that effortless access to all the things that you want to play, right? So if you're interested in learning more, you can get my ebook series that explains it, or if you want to actually dive deeper and get guidance, having a personalized practice program, having feedback on your videos so that you can actually, work with someone one-on-one, helping you to push you in the right direction. That's my one-on-one coaching. You can also find that in the description below. Let's get to the last part of this lesson, where it is about vocabulary. Yes, we need certain stickings. Of course we need certain stickings. But the stickings that I use are basically just combinations of singles and doubles. That's it. That's also not that hard. And I don't have 100 different stickings. I just have a few. And I want to give them to you. Just, have them. This is also something I do in my personal coaching and in my ebooks, but take them. Because I want you to understand that it's so easy. And the process that we've been through right now, dynamics, making groupings, orchestrating, right? With the exercise, the freedom exercise that I just did, what I started doing was playing accents, moving my hands around the kid. That's it. That's all you need. It's super simple. All right, so a few stickings, combinations of singles and doubles. I'll give you a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, and a 7. And those are all patterns that I use all the time. So let's check them out. That's it, everyone. It's that simple, right? If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. Let's get this conversation started because more drummers need to know about this. So if you like it, like, subscribe, let me know anything that you want to know because I can make more videos for you. I'm here for you. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.